Welcome to the Neuromasters Podcast, the place to reinvent yourself, master your mind, and change your life. Internationally recognized speaker, coach, and trainer Reg Malhotra will teach you tools to improve your mindset, change your behaviors, and let your relationships thrive. Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Here's your host, Reg.
All right. Welcome to episode 5 of the Neuromasters Show. I'm your host, Reg Malhotra. I'm the CEO, founder, and trainer at Neuromasters Academy, where we help people rewire their mindsets, get the best out of their life, get more out of themselves, and truly create a life of their dreams. Now, I've been sharing over the last few episodes some of the more common issues, common problems, common concerns that a lot of people have, that a lot of people that work with us, that we hear of these issues. So I want to continue on that journey of sharing what these common concerns are and what to do about them. Today, I want to talk about the idea that people, when they've tried a few things in their life and they haven't worked out and they feel it's too late, or there is not enough time left, or that, if it hasn't worked in the past, well, why would it work now? And, what I want to say is this. People say that you only have one life. Now, I beg to differ. You see, you only have one vessel, perhaps. You have one body. You have this vessel. Now, that's one. However, you can have multiple different lives. That is to say that no matter what's happened in the past, you being an open system can create a completely new life. Now let's break that down a little bit more as to what do I mean by a new life, a completely different life. In fact, like I said earlier, you can have multiple lives. If you can have a completely different way of seeing things, if what's important to you is different to what used to be important to you, if you can perceive situations, opportunities, ideas, and people differently to what you used to, if you feel emotions about things that are different to what you used to feel emotions about, if you are speaking and communicating and talking about things that are completely different and you have no interest in some things that you used to, then as a matter of fact, you are a completely different person. Now, how exciting is that? That means having the same body, same vessel, you could be living a completely different life. If your neurology is changed to the point that what's important to you now is completely different what used to be, then you are well on your way to being a completely different person or having a completely different life. The only reason people hold back from that is because of other people in their lives. You see, a lot of people are always trying to have a relationship with who you used to be. And you have a very important decision to make there. Are you going to stay the same person because others want to have a relationship with who you used to be? Or will you continue on your evolution? Will you continue on your path that you have chosen and your growth journey? Is a very important topic, because I know for me, things that were important to me many, many years ago, and I used to feel a lot of positive emotion or negative emotion, are no longer the same. In fact, at some point in my life, it was very important for me to own a house. And when I think of that time again, everything, my significance, the idea of who I am, whether I'm worthy, everything was tied up to that. I can recall that moment like that. Now, how many things have you had in your past, as you think about them at the time, they were super important to you? They were so important to you that nothing else mattered, or that the positive energy you felt when you went after that thing was incredible. But when you think about it that now, perhaps you feel neutral. We've all had that. Go back 10 years, 20 years ago. That means something has changed inside of you. Something has changed about what is important to you. So this is a very fascinating concept, because what's important to understand is the human being is an open system. You see, unlike, say, a cow who would generally eat grass, stand, sleep, eat grass, maybe have babies along the way, and primary concern being survival, consumption of food, resting. You see, that could be more like a closed system, not the human being. Very important to understand this. The human being is not a closed system. We are an open system. Anything you can conceive you are more than that. Think about it for a moment. You can decide to wear different clothes. You can decide to focus on different things. You can decide to do different activities. You can decide to learn more, think differently. Think about every time you learn something, you're no longer the person you used to be to a degree. So if you're an open system, we have 10 to the power 11 neurological connections. That means that at any time we can change our destiny. We can experience new phenomena. We can experience new people. We can go after things, different things than we ever did. And that means that you could be in the same body but living a completely different life. And that's what makes it so exciting, because for a human being, the common misconception is that life is a pursuit of happiness. In reality, it is the pursuit in life that is happiness. It is a pursuit of a vision, of an idea, of the pursuit of something that gets us up, that makes us excited, that makes us want to create. That is what truly creates happiness. A human being is a goal-seeking mechanism just by nature, by design. We are not meant to get up and say, this is it. We are not meant to get up and say, this is how it's meant to be. We're not meant to say that there is nothing more to learn, nothing more to discover, nothing more to experience. That's just not in our design. We are meant to continually discover more. And that is what makes us incredibly different to almost all other species. And that is what's led to the discovery of so much more than any other species could ever do. I think this is a very important idea to contemplate, that no matter what's happening in your life, as long as you're willing and you're open about this and you're willing to adopt this belief, you have an opportunity to live a completely different life. You can actually live multiple different lives before your time on the planet is over. And I think this belief is so powerful because you got to have the belief first, right? With anything, you got to have the belief first. You see, who's the one who finds the treasure? Two things have to be in place, generally speaking. One, who believes it's there, and two, goes looking after it. At any point, you have a choice of what you want to believe. It is the belief that will determine the behavior, and it is the behavior that will determine what you experience and what your results will be. It is a very important time for you to think about what your beliefs are. If you're listening to this show, you have no choice but to start examining and evaluating what you believe. Everything that you have today or are experiencing today or are going through today is generally a result of your beliefs to date. And the great news is you can change your beliefs. And I highly encourage you to adopt this belief that we are an ever-expanding system. You see, we are a being of expansion. Anything that you think you are more than. Anything that you can conceive you are more than that. See, this is not about self-improvement. This is about self-expansion. If you can accept the idea that we can continually discover more, continually create more, continually be more, then you are in acceptance of this profound idea of expansion. We are always expanding. You see, if you look at the universe is always expanding. Everything around us is always expanding. And a lot of the hints for how we live lie in nature, lie in the universe. So I encourage you to think about that. Think about where you have decided to limit yourself, where you have stopped yourself, where you have decided to not pursue something because of an idea or a belief that limited you, and an idea that does not align with the true nature of you, which is expansion. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the topic that you are best off contemplating, considering, evaluating, thinking. And if you can arrive at a conclusion that you are more than anything you can conceive you are, and that you are on the path of expansion, and this goes for learning as well, by the way, because even when it comes to learning, there is in fact no limit in what a human being can learn, because we are in many ways unlimited. So think about that. Think about where in life you have limited yourself, and decide to continue your journey of expansion and growth, because that is the true meaning of this thing we call life. Thank you. Thank you for listening today. Share your comments, feedback, suggestions, and questions, and we'll be back again with another powerful episode for you very soon.
Thank you for tuning in today. Are you ready to take the next step and find out what's keeping you from reaching your goals and creating the life you want? Go to go.neuromastersacademy.com/GS-LP for a free transformational mini workshop with Reg. See you next week.